So I made a video not too long ago about why I purchased the Steam Deck over something like the Switch 2, and somebody in the comments was talking about lossless scaling and how they were able to get PS3 emulators to run smoothly on their Steam Deck by using this software. And I really didn't have much of an idea of what lossless scaling was. I had heard about it, but today I just wanted to go ahead and make a video on me trying it out, testing it, and seeing what it does and how it affects my Steam Deck. And I want to see if I can get it working because I remember I did try to get this working a while ago and it wasn't working very well. Actually, it never worked at all because the tutorial I was watching was outdated and I couldn't find something that was current until I did a deeper search earlier this week, and I did find the way to do it. And I have gotten it set up on my Steam Deck, and I kind of want to take a look at it and see like what the deal is with lossless scaling. Before I get into it though, I do want to let you guys know that I've already set it up and everything. So it is currently running, but I will go over the process on how I got that done. And also, I'm trying to do a new route with my channel. I used to be doing game reviews and I did really enjoy doing them, but they weren't really like fun to do that much. And I do play a lot of games, so it is kind of hard to keep up with every single game I'm playing. And I didn't really have like a big community watching it right now. And, it just didn't really feel like something I really wanted to do. I wanted to kind of dive into more of like the hardware tech side of things and then do gaming videos every once in a while and maybe not really do like heavy reviews. I can maybe talk about a game that I liked, but I'd rather just do like a gameplay or just a showcase on a game or something like that. I don't know if I really like enjoy doing the full on reviews and trying to like, put a script together and all that stuff for that. It takes a lot of time. I feel like this I'm more free. I'm able to just kind of do whatever. So this is kind of what I want to try and do more of. I'd like to hear any critiques in the comments. If you guys have anything that you want to add or say about my content, go ahead. I'd take any criticism. But yeah, with that, let's just get right into the video. All right, so for starters, I just kind of wanted to go over what lossless scaling is and how it works. Definitely ignore this first game in my library that I recently played. I don't want to say that out loud or get sued, so we're gonna just like gloss over that and pretend that never happened. But lossless scaling is a application that you can actually get inside the Steam store. So if I go to search here and if I go search up, okay, so I have it in my library already, so it already says, but right now it is on sale. Let's see when the sale ends. Looks like it's ending November 22nd, so if you guys are watching this kind of early, you have about 3 to 4 days to buy this. I would go ahead, if you have a Steam Deck, cop this ASAP, because, $7, but it's like half off, so it's only like $4 right now. $7 isn't bad either, but $4 is definitely worth it for what you get from this. And the way that I set this up is I actually had to do something a little differently. You use the Decky plugin manager to get this to work, but instead of the typical way, what I went ahead and had to do is I had to go onto Firefox on desktop mode, and I had to download the Decky LSFGVK file separately. You do need to buy this and have this installed in order for it to work. So if you don't have this, the plugin will not work at all. But if you do go ahead and buy it, all you got to do is just buy it, install it, and then the plugin is going to work. But first you need to go to the desktop mode. And when you're in desktop mode, what you're going to have to do, I'll show you in a second when it loads. You're going to have to go to your search and you're going to have to look up, I think I have it in my recent, but basically you're just going to look up Decky lossless scaling. So if I go ahead and search it, Decky lossless scaling, it's gonna pop up this first link here, the Jason Derulo GitHub page. You're gonna want to open that, and then once you're in here, you're gonna see a bunch of files. But the one that you're gonna want to go to, you're gonna have to scroll down a little bit. But if you go over here in the right side, this releases section right here, you're gonna want to click that. When you click it, it's gonna bring you here, and then when you're here, you're gonna want to go to the zip file that you can see on this screen right here, and download that to your downloads folder. And then what you're gonna want to do is exit out of this. Why do I have so many tabs open? Go back to gaming mode. This is a cool intro I have downloaded, by the way. So once you're in here, you're gonna want to go to the Decky loader, and in the top right, you're gonna see this cogwheel. This is the settings. You're gonna want to go here, and then I already have it enabled, but in general, you go down to the bottom here, and it's developer mode. You turn that on. You can see this. You're gonna go to install plugin from zip files. You're gonna click browse, and then wherever you downloaded the file, I had it downloaded in downloads. So this one's a different one, but this is the LSFG thing that we just installed off of GitHub. All you do is you click that, and it just downloads the plugin. Very simple. It'll ask you if you have lossless scaling already installed, and then if you do, it'll be like, okay, good, and then you open this or download the rest of the LSFG package, and then it will do that, and then you have lossless scaling completely functioning on here. And as you can see right now, I have a 2x multiplier, and the way this works, kind of similar to something like DLSS. So the scaling has different modes that increase the scaling. So basically, it's just outputting in a low resolution, and then it's upscaling that resolution to like 1080p or whatever you want to play on. So the actual resolution is different from the one that you're seeing on screen. I also forgot to mention this, and that's why this section is kind of low quality with my camera holding. I'm gonna try to do my best here. But when you go into Decky LSFG, what you're gonna need to do is you're gonna need to go here and you're gonna need to copy the launch option. And when you do this, you have to go into the whatever game you're trying to play in the settings, and then you have to go to properties. Wow, this is really hard to do. And then at the bottom here, you're gonna want to put this command. You can either manually put this in or you can just copy it. I just copied it. Let me try and focus that a little better. This command right here, you're gonna want to put into the console. So with that, the other thing I wanted to mention about lossless scaling is that it also utilizes frame generation, which is why you have this Decky FG thing here. So it does have frame generation included, which is part of the package here. I believe, from what I'm understanding, what this is actually doing is this is frame gen, and then what this launch option was some sort of Decky frame gen option, which I didn't actually use during the video, but I believe there's another plugin you can download called Decky FG that might help with the frame generation. And if I recall correctly, it is the one from the video when I pulled up the two files I had in the downloads folder. It is that one. And I actually don't have that one set up right now. So I will try and go ahead and do that in the future. If you guys want to see that, maybe in like a short form video or something like that, I can go ahead and give a tutorial on that. But this is the most important one. You got to copy the launch option here so that it will actually work. And then if I go here up to the top, you just got to remember this will not work. So these will not work unless you have the launch option in there. So if you don't have that, it's not going to work. These FPS multipliers aren't going to do anything. And I did have that issue when I first tried it. I was like, why is it not working? And then I realized you have to copy and paste that command. I didn't read the full thing. I got too excited. But yeah, that's that. So you can go back to the regular video that you're watching with somewhat better quality. And it does cause some visual disruptions when you're playing a game. So something like Clair Obscur, I have tried it. It doesn't really work super well with the lossless scaling. It does work better at good FPS, but the picture looks kind of ugly, to be honest. But it's definitely worth it on the SteamDeck for sure because it's such a small screen anyway. So I don't really, it doesn't bother me that much. It's just I can kind of notice it, but it's really not that big of a deal. And it does improve my FPS, which is the thing that matters the most, especially when you're trying to play something like, I don't know, Clair Obscur or Spider-Man or any games that, you could run on this thing, but you're not going to be able to run them super well all the time. So I want to actually give you guys an example of lossless scaling functioning on my Steam Deck. So the first game I want to go through is Clair Obscur. And I'm gonna boot it without lossless scaling running at all, so I can show you guys what it's like when it's running, when it's working. Alright, so I'm currently inside of Clair Obscur, and if you see in the top left, we're getting about 40 to 38 FPS, 35 FPS. It's dropping a lot. And it's running playable. It's definitely not that bad, but it's not perfect. And the Steam Deck, I know, is not the craziest console, so it shouldn't be running this game even normally at 60 FPS or anything higher than that. I'm not really surprised by these results right now. This is all on low settings, by the way. So the Steam Deck definitely isn't able to keep up with something like, Clair Obscur on like medium settings or anything like that. Like we'd be in some pretty low settings. But when I go ahead and if I turn on the plugin that we just installed, the Decky LSFG plugin, if I go here and I put it into 2x mode, which is just 2 times the FPS, it does quite literally that, and it ups our FPS to about the 55 to 60 range. And this is smooth now. Like this is completely smooth. I'm having no major FPS drops, and I'm playing in a stable 60. There are some visual tearing, some minor artifacts when you're using this plugin because what it's doing is it's generating frames and it's estimating. So it's not going to be 100% perfect. It's not, to the same level as like the NVIDIA GPUs or anything with when it comes to the frame generation and guessing what the frames are, but it is definitely playable and it's not quite that annoying actually. It's very tolerable. Like I could play through the whole game like this if I really wanted to. And if we go and we increase it a little bit more, we're definitely gonna get more frames, but I can totally see there's a lot more tearing and crazy input lag now. So probably don't want to use anything higher than the 2x. I mean, let's try 4x, but I cannot tell you. Yeah, that's even worse. That's way worse actually. So this would be getting a lot of FPS, but at the same time we're losing playability basically because I'm just look at the input lag here. If I look around, it's insane, like actually crazy, but at least it's playable. At least it's playable in 2x. And again, I am using in-game scaling as well. I'm using the XeSS scaling. So if I up this to balanced instead of performance, I wonder if that would. That actually adds more artifacting, which is quite interesting actually. So we're just gonna keep that there. Lock the FPS to 60 in game and see if that maybe helps a little bit. A little bit, but it's not really gonna get rid of that. This is kind of just the downside when you're using lossless scaling is you're gonna get this visual uh infidelity, but it's not too bad right now as you can see. Like it's still definitely playable. So let's go ahead and try a different game just so I can kind of show you guys some more uses for this plugin. All right, so now I'm in Spider-Man, but I kind of low-key loaded into the wrong save. I wanted to show something else. Hold on, let me go back to the menu. All right, perfect. So now we're in Spider-Man, and as you can see, we're getting like 30 FPS. It's a very stable 30 FPS, and this is because I have it locked right now too. So I'm gonna go ahead and unlock that in 1 second, but not too bad. No major frame drops. I think I have it locked here and in game, so we're gonna turn that off. And in game, I think we're getting around 60 FPS now, 40, 50 FPS. So this game is very playable on the Steam Deck as it is. You wouldn't really need Decky frame gen for this game that much. It's just when you're swinging around the city, you're gonna notice you're getting 60 FPS when you're walking around, but when you're swinging around, it goes down to like 30. And then if you go towards like down here, it's gonna get like really bad. Yep. So we're getting like a rough 40, dropping to 30 every once in a while. If I start swinging though, yeah, it's gonna stay in the lower 30s. But if I go ahead and I turn on the lossless scaling right here, and let's say I put this into 2x, already getting way more FPS. Smooth 60 when I'm swinging around. This feels like I'm playing on PlayStation. And this game, I'm not noticing as bad of the artifacting. It's definitely there, but it's not as. Oh, okay, never mind. I just saw it right there, actually. But it's definitely still playable. It's just you have to get over the fact that it's going to artifact all the time. It is kind of annoying. But this is definitely playable as is. I have to tweak the settings a little bit more, I think, to get it to work perfectly and everything, but if you're really looking for that smooth 60 and you don't care about like the loss in visual fidelity, I mean, I do think that this plugin is very useful because I am getting 60 FPS, which is very impressive for something like the Steam Deck. And I'm sure there's ways to fix this. I'm sure that there is something that I'm doing wrong. I'm not a professional. I don't know much about the frame generation and all that stuff, except for the fact that I know how it works generally, but I don't really know like what each setting I would need to change to fix this would be. And especially with something like the Steam Deck, haven't really not really that used to it. Yeah, so with that, I mean there is definitely some things to be said about the lossless scaling. Like if you can see, Spider-Man is literally glitching in and out right now, but it's not terrible. It's definitely something that I could see myself playing if I really wanted to. Anyway, those are just my thoughts on lossless scaling. If you guys want to go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe, I'd appreciate it. And if you watched all the way to the end, thank you guys so much. I'm trying to do this YouTube thing a little bit differently than I used to be doing before, so I'm gonna see if I can make some enjoyable content for you guys. And with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one.